Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How is life in your world and how's things where you are? Please let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing from you. I want to hear from you. And so, yesterday, after work, I came down here and I dorked around and I made something. And I think I talked about it. I don't remember. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I've lived in this house since 2012, 7 years, and I've never had a place to hang my coats. There's some nails stuck in some studs over there. That's about it. That's all the coat rack I've ever had. And lately, I feel like I've been coming home. Oh, I have a laptop bag now, like a backpack. And so when I get in the basement area, I come through here. I don't want to take that off to get the jacket off and then put it all up. And so I just wear the jacket upstairs, and then I end up throwing it on the kitchen table. So yesterday I was like, I'm done with this. Well, a while back I'd been like, I'm done with this. So I had ordered some coat hooks off of Amazon, and they came yesterday. They showed up, and I was like, well, that's what I'm going to do. So as soon as work was over, I came down here. I looked for some hardwoods. You know, I have some walnut. I have some oak. I didn't really have any pieces that I liked or that I was willing to sacrifice for a board that holds some hooks. So I just grabbed a 1x12, ripped a section of it off to like 5 inches or 4.5 inches or something, and screwed some coat hooks to it. Well, I sanded it, chamfered it, screwed some coat hooks to it, hung it on the wall. And I would say that maybe total time was like an hour. That includes the sanding. That includes I cut keyholes in the back so it hangs flush to the wall. That includes stain. I put a coat of stain on it. I put probably 4 or 5 coats of lacquer, spray lacquer on it, and I had a fan running to cure it faster because pine really soaks up finish. And the problem was I used a real nice gray stain that I have, but if I would have put a sealer on it, like I use amber shellac, that sealer's still not amber. I use natural or blonde shellac, but it still imparts a yellowish tone to the wood. And the wood that I had was nice and white, and I liked that white gray and then the black hooks look. So I skipped that point and just said I'll just put on extra coats of lacquer after it soaks it up. So total, maybe an hour. It was awesome. It was wonderful. And I think it turned out really nice. If somebody comes to my house, they're like, oh, that's a really nice coat hook. Where'd you get it at? Like, well, I made it. It took me an hour. The thing is, I didn't film any of it. And I've talked about on this channel so many times, those are the kind of projects that I wish I could capture. You know, I've been sitting on footage of M's desk now for months. I started an edit, and it just wasn't working for me. And I still plan on producing videos. For those of you that don't know, I built M a desk this year. It took me like 3 or 4 months because it was just an hour here, an hour there, maybe a weekday or weekend here, whatever. And I built a complete desk. Cabinets, two side cabinets, 3 drawers each, a solid cherry top, you know. And it was my first venture into like real world, like I wouldn't call it fine furniture, but fine woodworking, where I tried to make it as best as I possibly could. And I've been sitting on that footage forever because it's just another desk build on YouTube. And I guess that imposter syndrome in me says, what makes this worth anybody's time? There's already 1,000 of these videos with makers who are way more skilled than me and with much better production value than what I could make. And so it's just kind of sitting on my laptop. I'll do it. It'll probably be a winter project. I'll put together the videos. But what I would really like to capture is those moments where I come down here and something just happens, and I make something, and then I go, wow, I should have filmed that. But the problem is, in that moment, I'm like, yep, got this, zip, setting up T-square, put it down, bam, 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 screws. There's no time for me to like, oh, is this a good angle for the camera? Should I move over here? I can't do that. And being working in here alone means that the only way I could do it is if I put GoPros like all over the place and then tried to stitch that footage together somehow. Without a crew of people following me, it's not possible to capture those moments, and I would love to capture those moments because I spend way more time in here just tinkering, just making goofy little projects like that than I do making actual stuff, like actual, boxes and desks and whatever. I spend more time in here just making random things that I think that if I could figure out a way to capture that energy, it would be great. And this all the reason this is pouring out of me right now is because I finally got to listen to last week's episode of Making It, which is a podcast done by Jimmy Dresta, Bob at I Like to Make Stuff, and David Picciuto from Make Something. I'll put a link in the description. If you haven't heard of their podcast, you definitely need to go listen to it. It's an amazing team of just fun guys who are making amazing videos on YouTube, and they talk about that process. They talk about kind of about anything and everything over the last couple of years. It's just whatever happens. But this particular week, they talked about tinkering in the shop when it's like when everybody's gone, when the cameras are off, they just go out and make something and it's fun. And it's like, yeah, well, how do you capture that? Like as a person who I watch a lot of YouTube, I watch a lot of makers, I want to see more of that. One of my favorite creators stopped making videos this year, Nick Ferry. He just kind of stopped. He got burned out on the whole process. But like last month or 2 months ago, he put out a video because he needed to do something real quick. And his wife said, why don't you make a video out of it? And he said no. And she said, well, how about if I film it? And he said, okay. And so she followed him into the shop and they made a video together. And it's a little Boy Scout thing. But the video was awesome because it was so raw and real. And it felt like you were just along for the ride with a couple of friends who were goofing off in their garage. And man, I wish I could figure out how to capture that as an independent, as a person, just me and a camera or 6 cameras, I don't know, and how to edit that if I were to figure out a way to do a 4-camera setup. I don't know. But give that episode a listen. Think about tinkering in your shop. I hope that if you don't have a shop space, you have a workbench or a desk where you do some projects or build Legos or whatever it might be. Go just dork around, do something, make something. Just making that simple little coat hanger yesterday really made me feel good. So do it. Play around. Tinker. Post pictures. Let me see pictures of stuff you've tinkered. Like, not of projects that you finished, of goofy little things that you've tinkered and done that made a difference in your shop or in your life. I'd love to see that. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and being amazing friends, being wonderful people. I appreciate you. And I will see you tomorrow.
Here's a fact about Orpington. From Wikipedia, 95.1% of Orpington's population speak English. Second is all other Chinese with just 0.4%.
Alexa, where is Orpington?
Orpington is a town in